Hey, welcome back. Been waiting for this moment right here. Bryan Platt's in the studio with us, and he heads up Jackson County Right to Life, and the petition that we've been working on talking about is now ready, hallelujah, with a pause button. What's going on?
We haven't received it yet.
Okay.
But we scheduled this program a long time ago in anticipation of having received it, so here we are.
All right, let's go back. First of all, what's the petition about?
Okay, so this is the third time that we've circulated a very similar petition. The situation in Oregon is we have no laws restricting abortions whatsoever in this state.
Look at this chart, folks.
We never have, and this is our effort to begin that process of reining in this unfettered access to abortions.
When you look at this chart, for those watching on theDove TV, you'll see all 50 states and various laws that restrict abortions in those states. You come down to the very bottom, and there is no color next to the state of Oregon, which means there are no restrictions on any abortions in this state. And on top of that, your tax dollars is paying for about 8 babies a day to be killed through abortion in this state. So we're trying to stop that.
Eight babies a day, Perry. And I think one of the things that shocks people, maybe, I mean, as much as that graphic ought to shock everyone,
right, is
we're not talking about abortions that are performed to save the physical life of a mother. These are elective abortions. We know that from research that women who are choosing abortions, the vast majority are choosing for the god of convenience.
Right.
Our taxpayer dollars are being used to take the life of these children only because the mother determines that that child's life is an inconvenience to her. So this isn't something where, well, I'll just to kind of, put some perspective on this. This citizens initiative does not seek to stop abortion. There's no way to stop abortion. There are definitions in the federal law that trump state law. There are, although extremely rare, situations where it is medically necessary, although, I remember C. Everett Koop, while he was Surgeon General of the United States, saying never in 30-some years of practice did he see a situation where the mother's life was in jeopardy and only aborting the child could somehow save the mother's life. I mean, it's a, we hear the story, but it doesn't normally happen. I mean, it's a very unusual thing. So we are trying to place on the November of this year, this year's ballot, a constitutional amendment that stops the use of taxpayer money to fund these elective abortions.
In the state of Oregon.
In the state of Oregon.
Which basically goes through the so-called Oregon Health Plan, I guess.
That's right. If a woman is enrolled in the Oregon Health Plan, then she is eligible. There is no restriction on gestational age. There is no restriction on the number of abortions she can receive. It's just carte blanche. And you and I are paying for those children to die.
Okay, we're trying to stop that through this petition initiative. And I know that you were in the Supreme Court or the court trying to understand the title. How are we there?
Right. So, unfortunately, the state laws don't specify a date that the Supreme Court is obligated to provide us with the ballot title. So that's what we're waiting on, is the Supreme Court ruling on the ballot title. The title that was given by the Attorney General's office was challenged by the National Abortion Rights Action League and Planned Parenthood, two of the usual suspects.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a strategy. Honestly, I can't blame them.
Yeah.
I mean, I would do that too if I was the enemy and I was trying to mess up the schedule and things. And of course, when we're talking about a due date of around the 1st of July, and we're talking about 117,000 signatures.
And this is April 4th.
Yeah, you do the math. We've got maybe 12, 13, 14 weeks to amass that number of signatures. It's a logistical nightmare. So that would certainly be a prayer that we would ask people to petition the Lord to, get that out of the Supreme Court. So
that's all you're waiting for now.
That's what we're waiting for.
And once the Supreme Court gives us a ballot title, then the petitions will be ready. Now, look, let's go back a quick history. We're going to run out of time here. This came up before, and we got the signatures done. We have fought this battle before. In fact, one of the largest petition signature gathering petition drives in the state's history was done on a similar measure. And then after that one, it just kind of disappeared. We had a hard time getting it in churches. We had a hard time people doing it. Folks, we can't even begin to go down that road this time. I believe this time is it. We have got to do it. This means every church understanding this is not a political issue. This is very much a biblical issue.
It very much is. And to that end, Perry, my goal today being on the program is to let people know that we're proceeding apace as if we have the petition sheets, and we begin with a training session tomorrow evening at First Baptist Church. Whether we have the petition sheets or not, we have to get these other pieces of the puzzle in place so that when we finally have them, we're ready to go. So we actually have 2 training sessions set up for our area here. The first is tomorrow evening, Tuesday evening at 7 o'clock at First Baptist Church in Medford, 649 Crater Lake Avenue, 7 o'clock in the fireside room. Just look for the little Jackson County Right to Life sign on the door there.
There you go.
And it'll take an hour and a half. You know, we'll spend time just talking about it and strategizing on it. I mean, those people that are coming can tell me probably as much as I can tell them. You know, there's a lot to this, and I think there's a lot of ideas out there. We need that discussion to be on the same page. The second training session is in Eagle Point, and that will be Thursday night, the 14th of April, so a week from this coming Thursday at Eagle Point Community Bible Church, which is next to the Grange, downtown in Eagle Point. That one also 7 o'clock. And we've got a little video presentation so that people are comfortable with how to deal with petitions and the signers and what if somebody makes a mistake and things like that, to give people a little bit of confidence. I think a lot of people are a little hesitant to get involved because they don't want to mess up, and they know there's some pretty severe penalties for making mistakes that cost us signatures and things like that. So 2 sessions this Tuesday, tomorrow night, and a week from Thursday at Eagle Point Community Bible.
Let me just say to pastors, here's a thought. Why don't you consider appointing in your church a civics leader, person who stays on top of these issues and other things, and then let that person go to these training sessions so that they would know how to work with people in church. Pastors, it is totally legal for you to have these petition drives in the foyers of your church. And the best way you can do it is just appoint somebody in your church to be that person. I'm sure there's somebody in your church that's passionate about that. That ought to be the point person to come to these meetings and learn the strategy. And part of it is saving a lot of time to make sure we don't get double signatures. You know, if you're a petition circulator, that you keep track of this stuff so that you really know what's going on. But folks, this is it. This is the one we have got to send a message. When you see that chart again, I don't know, can the guys in the control room throw this chart up? When you see this chart, there are, for those watching on the Dove TV, there are all 50 states showing the various restrictions that they have on abortion. And as you keep scrolling down on the chart, the restrictions in various states get smaller and smaller and smaller. You go all the way down to state 50. And there's Oregon with no color. We have none, zero, nada restrictions on abortion in this state, and your tax dollars is paying for 8 babies a day to be killed just for the convenience of the situation. So this is it, and once these petitions are ready, I'm sure you'll let us know.
Yeah, we'll be all over it. You know, the website is up. So Oregon Life United, OregonLifeUnited.org is the website, and when you go to that, not only will you learn information about the overall circumstances, but you can sign up to get a petition form emailed to you. There's some wonderful, wonderful electronic gizmos out there now. You can actually type in your address and find the names and addresses of people who have signed the petition that are in your neighborhood. Okay, all done, by the magic of the internet.
Yeah.
So we have some really powerful tools to help us this time. The Sign on Sunday thing with the pastors, it's absolutely critical, Perry, that we engage the churches in this process.
And let me say again, so this coming Thursday night.
Okay, tomorrow night, Tuesday.
Oh, Tuesday,
Tuesday, tomorrow night at First Baptist.
All right, Tuesday, First Baptist, 7 o'clock in Medford. And then on the 14th, which is a Thursday night, at the Community Bible Church in Eagle Point, right next to the Grange. And what an opportunity. Well, Bryan, I can't wait. I mean, you know, when the petition's out, you have an open door here. Let's get the information out and get it going.
We'll be right there, Perry, and appreciate everybody praying for the Supreme Court to release that title so we can get started.
That's the Oregon Supreme Court. Quickly, the website one more time.
OregonLifeUnited.org.
Okay, OregonLifeUnited.org. Thanks, Bryan.
Okay.
We'll see you next time on Focus Today.
I'm Paulina Leiser, producer of Focus Today. Thank you for watching this video, and make sure to check our other videos at theDove.us.